What is active shooter training? And I love this question because I say it this way: are you checking a box or are you providing a capability? So in the recent Texas shooting, they had just completed, been recertified on their active shooter training. I've literally been to active shooter trainings when they've talked about run, hide, fight, post it up, clip it off the internet, put it on the wall, make sure everybody reads it, and then check them off for another year. That is absolutely a horrible idea when you're talking about capability. Really, you just had a conversation, but you never enhanced the capability. Not a realistic one that's going to save children. So again, to check in the box. Check in the box, hey, we trained. You trained for what? Did you train for the thing that you foresee walking in the door? For example, both at STEM, the STEM school in Colorado, and Uvalde, Texas school, one of them, do you have a fence? You can check yes, and that score is better on your risk assessment, but the fence is only 30 feet wide, and you can drive around either side. That's not really, yes, you have a fence, but it doesn't enhance your capability. What about the fence in Uvalde? Do we have a fence? Yes, we do, but it's 4 foot tall. Both the shooter and a mom that jumped the fence and saved her own children when the police were holding people back, that fence is not the fence you think. So effectively saying active shooter training, I've seen this here locally where they have volunteers come in and they set everything up and they do a scenario where they go in, they walk back out, everybody shows up and drags the kid away, and it's all good. The problem is, as an instructor, as a professional instructor that is one of the nation's leading active shooter training experts, the people in the element team, did this person get a whole lot of training? Everyone needs to be able to do this, but not as a 5 and 6 man element. You start building a chain with each individual link. So every patrol officer needs to know how to enter a building by themselves, or with 2 people, or with 3 people, or just all the stars align and you get 7 to 10 people, okay? What does that look like? The world knows this. We've already learned this lesson. Our nation has this capability in its back pocket because we've used it for protective purposes all over the world, right? For our diplomats, for our global elites, and for our Hollywood people or whatever. It just means it's time to utilize those skills for our children. So if we're talking about what is active shooter training, it means it better replicate the emergency that we're seeing. That means people that aren't healthy coming into schools, literally hunting our children. If you can't respond to that, I wouldn't say you've conducted any kind of active shooter training. There must be a plan that everybody knows. It must be realistic. We've got the DEFEND modules for you to use as scale. It's defense, evacuate, fortify, emergency medical aid, notify others in your immediate area, and dial 911. If you're not healthy in those 6 areas, then you don't have effective active shooter training. So it's not only a discussion, it needs to be training and then scenario-based drills that you should know when you ask people, what are you gonna do? If you're gunfire, they should have an answer. I don't know is not an acceptable answer, and it's time we made corrections and started giving the people, our people, those in our care, the tools to be successful.